Hello everyone, welcome to another Flesh and Blood video. In this one, we're going over the second half of the brand new set High Seas. This one should be going up the day before release, so I hope your pre-releases went well. Hopefully you pulled something good. In this video, we're going over all of the Necromancer cards slash Pirate Necromancer cards. I don't think there's any base Necromancer cards even in the set, from what I remember. Not include. Oh, actually, I guess there are two pieces of equipment. This is not going to include the few cards from the Armory deck, even though those cards are really good. Just saying, those are really good because they aren't in the set, nor the Marvel. I guess I'll talk about the two Marvel ones towards the end, maybe, when I talk about the expansion slot, but those aren't in the set either, technically. We're also going to be talking about all of the generic cards, including the Fabled, which is generic for no reason. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but it shouldn't be, in my personal opinion. And the expansion slot cards, as for the people that don't play Pirate, Necro, Mechanologist, or Ranger, that's what you're usually buying the set for in the generics. But with all of that said, let's get started with the brand new class Necromancer and Gravy Bones Shipwrecked Looter. Gravy Bones is a 4 intellect, 40 health pirate necromancer hero. He has two abilities: an instant to tap him and destroy a gold you control to draw a card and discard a card, and a passive ability where if a blue card has been put into your graveyard this turn, you may play cards with Watery Grave from your graveyard. Watery Grave is on all of the allies and some of the amulets. When we take a look at them, those are generics. Pretty much, he just lets you play some allies from your graveyard. That's sort of the point of the ability. Gravy Bones wants to use his effect or other effects to put his allies in the graveyard, so he doesn't have to play them from the hand. Pretty much makes them free discards for any of those effects. There, from some of the pirate cards we saw last video, there's the Portside Exchange that lets you discard a yellow card to make a gold. You can discard allies since they're all yellow. And then you can, that's a blue card going to your graveyard, so then you can play the Watery Grave cards from your graveyard. So pretty powerful. I think Gravy Bones is going to definitely be a popular hero. I don't know if he's going to be the strongest, mainly because his allies don't block from hand, but they do seem very powerful with their effects, so we'll have to see. Gravy Bones' young version is the exact same as his adult version, just with half the health. Gravy Bones does not have a weapon. Instead, he just has an offhand, the Compass of Sunken Depths. This has two abilities as well. It lets you tap it at instant speed to look at the top card of your deck, and the first card with Watery Grave you play from your graveyard each turn gets Go Again. This is important because none of the allies themselves have Go Again, so if you want to have a turn where you play two allies that you need this Compass. Him not having a weapon does kind of suck, as he can't attack with his weapon. He can easily get fatigued, but that was never a problem for illusionists before, and they don't have any real weapons, so he'll probably be fine. The effect that lets him look at the top card of his deck is important for a few of the Necro cards, as they let you destroy the top card of your own deck to gain a bonus effect. So it lets you look at the top card to see if it's Necromancer, to see if you actually want to do the effect. Really powerful. I think this is a very good card. There is a glove in the set called the Washed Up Wave. These are a card that actually has synergy with the Compass. On defend, you can discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. If that card has Watery Grave, you can give these gloves +2. They are a Blade Break arm as well, so you can use the Compass to see if you have a card on top with Watery Grave, and then put that in your bin to play for later and get +2. So it can easily be a card drawn if you have that Watery Grave card on top of your deck, which you'll have a good amount in your deck, and thanks to the Compass, you'll be able to see what that card is before you block with these. Really nice glove. Probably going to be the glove that he will include most of the time, as it's just 2 block in the arms slot. For the Majestics, the first one is Blood in the Water, the only red M that Gravy Bones gets from Pirate Necromancer. This is a 0 for 4 defense reaction. That's pretty powerful. It has the effects when it defends, you can discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. If it had Watery Grave, this gets +2. A 0 for 6 defense reaction is very, very powerful, especially when you consider part of the deck doesn't block. It is a way to put some Watery Grave cards into your graveyard, even from your hand if need be. As again, they don't block, so you have no way to get them out of your hand other than pitching them or playing them. So this is a pretty nice card if you need to deal with those extremely high numbers. As a 6 block defense reaction, it's incredibly powerful to deal with every 2 for 6 except CNC. Still really good. I think this one will see some play at some point. I don't know if it's stronger than Shelter or Sink, especially Sink, as sometimes I feel like this deck will need to filter cards out of its hand, but we'll see in the future. There are 2 blues. Chart the High C is a card we saw all the way back at the start of preview season. This is a 0 cost blue block 3 that lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You can pitch a blue card among them and put the rest in your graveyard, and you make a gold for each yellow card put into your graveyard this way. This is an incredibly powerful effect. Not only do you get 3 resources if you hit a blue, so replacing the card that you played, which was this one, but since this is a blue card going to your graveyard, that yellow card you put into your bin, since it probably has Watery Grave, since all the allies are yellow, you will make a gold, which you can use for your hero ability later, and with those 3 resources, play that ally. So incredibly powerful card. I think this will be at 3 in like every Gravy Bones list there is. Give No Quarter is another blue 0 cost 3 block. Gravy is getting a lot of these, which I think is very good since, you know, a lot of his deck doesn't block and just gives him a lot of good defensive power, and he is a bit of a slower deck. Give No Quarter gives your next 2 allies with Watery Grave 3 less cost to play this turn. Very good if you're setting up a double ally turn. I don't think it's the strongest card, but I've seen a lot of lists play it in the main board just because it's a blue block 3. And versus those late game matchups, like there's no point in sideboarding it, right? It's going to be a main board card. You can always just block with it or pitch it. Even in matchups, you don't need to play it. So very powerful. I think this card is really good. Gravy has 3 Majestic allies. Those are Chum, Friendly First Mate, a 4 cost 4/6 with 3 abilities. All of the allies have Watery Grave. I will not mention it on any of the other allies. The 2 other abilities are an action to tap and attack with him, and an instant to tap and discard a card with Watery Grave to make your opponent must choose Chum as a target if available, which means that it's pretty much an Arclight Sentinel. It doesn't end the turn right away, but versus some decks that can only play 1 attack a turn, Chum is going to be extremely strong. Even versus a lot of aggro decks, he has 6 health, so he'll easily take 2 cards out of your opponent's hand just to deal with him. So Chum, very, very powerful. You're going to see this card at 3 in all of the decks, especially with cards like the new chess piece Dread Threads, as it gives you a resource if an ally goes to your graveyard. So if you put Chum to your graveyard off something like a Chart the High Seas or a Call to the Grave, you can gain a resource and then pitch a blue to play the Chum out. Really powerful. Moray Le Fay is a 0 cost 0/3. She can attack, which she has no base power, but she can get base power from her instant ability. For a resource and tapping her, you can put a +1 counter on any target ally. Pretty powerful if you are in a very late game matchup. Probably just the mirror right now. I don't know how strong this will be versus not ally matchups, but if you can protect this card with something like Chum, or if they have to spend a really big attack to deal with this, Moray is definitely worth it. It lets you stack up some of your allies to hit even harder than they already do, because some of them hit pretty hard, especially this next card, Whaler Humperdinck, who is a 6 cost 11/7. However, his only ability is a 6 attack one, so you will need a lot to play him. He costs 6, so 2 blues. Even Give No Quarter makes him only cost 3. So you're still kind of spending 6 because you have to play the Give No Quarter. and then he needs 6 to attack. So you'll need to keep at least 2 cards in your hand to swing with him. But late game, if you can actually get him to come in for an attack, he is incredibly powerful. Something I forgot to mention is what Watery Grave actually does. It's not just a keyword like Stealth. Watery Grave says when this card is put into your graveyard from the arena, turn it face down. So you won't be able to infinitely loop these allies, as after they leave from play, they're going to be face down in your graveyard, so you can't interact with them anymore. So you'll only have this go through 3 copies of Chum or 3 copies of Whaler, but still, if you're going through 3 copies of Chum, you're still gonna have, that's like 18 health minimum that the opponent has gained on you. That's still really powerful. Next up, we just have some pretty simple cycles. Board the Ship is a 2 for 6 that lets you tap an ally on attack to gain overpower. Paddle Faster is a 0 for 4 that lets you tap an ally on attack to gain go again. And Hoist 'em Up is a 0 for 4 block that lets you tap an ally to gain +1 block. I think the only one here that's going to see a lot of play is Paddle Faster, as this is a good go again attack, and since you untap at the end of your turn, you still get to untap your allies and then use some of their instant speed effects if need be. Hoist 'em Up is okay as a 5 blocking card, but I don't think I'd ever play it over Blood in the Water, and I don't know how much Blood in the Water is already going to see play. And Board the Ship to me just feels like a draft card. Next up is another cycle. We have a Vast Yi, a 0 cost blue block 3 that gives your next pirate ally attack this turn go again, and on hit make a gold. Heave Ho, which gives your next pirate ally attack overpower and on hit make a gold. And Yo Ho Ho, which gives your next pirate ally attack +1 and on hit make a gold. I don't think these are going to see much play. If anything, a Vashti probably will, since it lets you swing with more allies on your turn, which is actually really good since none of the ally attacks have go again. Well, one of them has go again, but not many of them do. So giving them go again lets you swing with a wider board. Yo-Ho-Ho is probably the second best one, as it gives +1 power, letting you attack for some breakpoints. And Heave Ho, I think, is the worst, but Overpower on something like a Humperdinck is really, really powerful. So I could see a world where Heave Ho does see some play. Moving on to the rare allies, Kelpie Tangled Mess is a 0 cost 1/3. She has the effects to attack by tapping her, or the effect to pay a resource and tap her to tap a hero or ally. This has some uses in some matchups. If you're fighting a Brute, mainly KO, if they are, or even Rhinar, if they're playing that new generic that gives them a Gold Kiss Rum by discarding it, you can tap their hero before they can use it. Or mainly, the main use of this is to play into other pirate heroes, since they're all about tapping. In the mirror, I think this card could see some use, as you can use it to tap an opponent's ally before they can swing with it, since they untap at the end of their turn. And it's pretty much free, as it's just a resource, and she's not going to be attacking in the mirror. So I really just think that's where she's going to see play, if any. Limpet Hop Along is a 0 cost 2/1 with a 1 resource attack to tap and attack with go again. This lets you go a little wide. I don't think she's as powerful, but she probably does still see some play in these Gravy Bones decks if they want to go a little wider. And the final rare ally is Scuba Salty Sea Dog, a 0 cost 4/4 with a 3 resource requirement to tap and attack. But when it attacks, you can put a yellow card from your graveyard on the bottom of its owner's deck, and if you do, you make a gold token. This one is actually really powerful. 3 to attack is fine, since we're playing so many blues in our deck already. Really good stats at 4/4. That means some breakpoint attack has to be committed to take down Scuba. And at 4 power means that it is swinging for a breakpoint. Even though it does cost 3, you do get a gold token, which can help us with a few of our effects, help with the consistency a little bit. So Scuba, honestly, very, very powerful card. Moving on, we have some rainbow versions. As always, if I talk about our rainbow card, it is going to be the red only, and I'll say what the other colors lose. Angry Bones is a 2 for 6 with power decreasing based on color. When it attacks, you can discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. If it has water your grave, this gets +1. Pretty much, this is just draft fodder. Burly Bones is the same stat line and card text, but gains overpower instead of +1. Jittery Bones is the same, but a 0 for 4, but gains Go Again. I actually think this one could see some play, as it's another Go Again attack. Restless Bones is the same stat line as the other ones, where it's a 2 for 6, but also gains the Go Again. This one might also see some play, as a 2 for 6 Go Again is pretty good. And then finally, we just have a bunch of the common allies. Barnacle is a 2-cost 4/3 that just taps to attack, decent stat line, okay health. Chowder is a 3-cost that is a 3/3. It can attack, or at instant speed, you can tap it to gain a life. This one might actually see some play in some of the slower matchups, as it's a way to repeatably gain life over and over. Cuddy Shark Quick Clip is a 1 for 3 power with 4 health. You can pay a resource and tap him to attack, or as a once per turn action, you can pay a resource, not tapping him, to give your next ally attack this turn +1 and Go Again. So for 2, you can come in for 4 with Go Again. This one also is very powerful. It lets your allies, any ally you want, go really wide, even himself. So actually a really good card. Rigor Mortis is a 1-cost 6/1 with 1 resource to attack. Just a big attack. Shelly Hardened Traveler is a 2-cost 4/5 with 3 to attack and an instant to tap to make your next attack action card you defend with this turn get +1. Just some extra defenses. I don't think this one will see much play. And finally, the last ally in the main set is Swabby, a 3-cost that has a 2-cost attack for 7 and only 3 health. So another big number card like Humperdinck, but with the lower health, can be a little easier to deal with for some aggro decks. So might not be worth it, but I think this big number could possibly be worth it if you can set it up over several turns. That's all of the Pirate Necromancer cards, but before we talk about the whole set for Gravy as a whole, let's take a look at the base Necromancer cards, as there are only 2 of them. Dead Threads is a Necromancer chess piece with 1 block and Blade Break. It is an instant speed effect to tap it and gain a resource, but only if an ally has been put into our graveyard this turn. An incredibly powerful effect. We want to be putting allies into our graveyard every turn, so this is a free resource every turn. If you're playing Gravy, you should probably be playing this card. And then finally, we have Headstone. This is a 1-block Battle-Worn helmet, which is pretty nice. A lot of the other equipment have been Blade Break. You can instant speed destroy it to destroy the top card of your deck. This just lets you cycle through your deck. It can let you put a blue into your bin if you really need it to play Water Grave cards from your bin. It can also put an ally in your graveyard to trigger all of those effects. Probably not the helmet you're going to play in CC, but a good card for the limited format. Overall, I think Gravy definitely has a lot of room to be very powerful. As we've seen with every other permanent deck we've ever gotten, and I mean like attacking permanent deck, I don't mean like, oh, Acilio puts, sigils into play or whatever. I mean like Illusionist or now Necro. They have all been incredibly powerful. Original Prism, Enigma, Dromai, all really strong. New Prism is a bit different of a permanence deck, but still really, really powerful. Has literally like 80-20 matchups just because of the way the deck works. Gravy Bones, although that's a little different reasoning why, but Gravy Bones, similar to a lot of those older heroes where he just has a bunch of permanents in play that are hard to deal with. Really, really strong. I think we're going to see a lot of Gravy in the future, especially since he is getting the Armory deck. There are 2 allies we didn't talk about and 2 other non-attack action blues that are all extremely powerful that you're probably going to be considering playing in Gravy Bones. So he's going to have a really nice time. But that is all of the Pirate Necromancer cards. Let's move on to the generic cards, starting with the brand new Fabled. Riches of Triple Donny is the brand new Fabled this time around. It's a generic resource gem at yellow, and it has an on pitch to make a gold token. Very, very powerful in the Pirate Heroes, as you can already tell. But of course, this card is generic, which means we get to play it in the same deck as Kasai or Victor or any of these other Gold Synergy heroes, or literally any deck that we actually want. The fact that this card gets to see use in Kasai is really powerful, as it gives her a gold that she can pop to get free Sword Swings. Or in Victor, as pitching this card draws you a card because you're making a gold token during your action phase. Or not even during your action phase, it's just whenever you make a gold first time each turn you draw. So like, this card is so powerful. On Victor, you can pitch this during your opponent's turn, your quick dodge reflexes to draw a card. You can pitch it during your turn to an attack to draw a card to keep an arsenal. Just such a strong card in Victor. Really good card in Kasai. There's probably some other decks I'm forgetting, like Betsy makes great use of this card as she needs a gold to start her turn going, or start her roll going of wager attacks so she can use her helmet. This card gives her a free gold to do that. Just a very powerful effect. I think this one will definitely see a lot of play. Moving on to the rest of the generics, starting with, if I can find it, the Bandana of the Blue Beyond. This is an action to discard a card and destroy this. It puts a blue card from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. Just for draft. No one's going to play this in CC. Helmsman's Peak is a 1-block blade break that lets you look at the top card of your deck when it defends. Again, just for limited. Sit mostly with the rest of these common equipment. Captain's Coat has an action to destroy and gain a resource, but only if you've drawn a card this turn. Not better than Blossom of Spring, so probably not going to see play in any CC formats. Old Knocker is a generic chess piece with 1 block and blade break that has an instant to tap your hero, destroy it, and gain go again. This one is actually better than Blossom of Spring, and it's already seeing play in Acilio. You will see this card when we go over Acilio, which will be soon. I'm going to start working again on that other video I was going to make for a different game. So I don't know if that's going to be next week, or if Acilio is going to be next week, or if we're going to do the Pirate Heroes next week. But after we're done all the Pirate Heroes, we're going to do Acilio first, and this card will be in the deck, because this is just better than Blossom of Spring, because it's instant speed. We don't care about tapping our hero. Very good card. We'll see a lot of play in him. Not sure if it'll see play anywhere else, but very good card. Surprisingly good common. I'm going to try to pick up a cold foil one of these, honestly. Swift Strike Bracers are a action to destroy it. Your next attack gets +2, but only if you've played a Nimblism this turn. There are a lot of Nimblism synergies this set. We'll go over more of them when we take a look at the actual attacks, but honestly, these are pretty good. Light Fingers are a on defend. If you're a thief, steal a gold the attacking hero controls, and they're 1-block blade break. These are more for limited or blitz, as we can actually play a thief there. Quartermaster's Boots are 1-block blade break that, for 2 resource on destroy, give the next non-attack action card we play this turn go again. So, Mage Master's Boots, but 1 more resource to get 1 more block. Not better than Mage Masters in Constructed, so probably won't see much play outside of Limited. Quick Clicks, an attack that gives your next attack go again, but only if you've played a Nimblism this turn. Again, more Nimblism synergy. And moving on to the Majestics, as those are the equipment. Sea Legs is a very good card. This is a brute card in the set that didn't have any, that's not about brute. It's a 3 for 6 at yellow with 3 block that says, when it's discarded, you make a Gold Kiss Rum. Gold Kiss Rum, if you don't remember, is a token that lets you tap your hero to give your next attack this turn, or your next action this turn, go again. And your hero can't untap unless they're a pirate. This turn. At the turn you use the Gold Kiss Rum. So, every other turn you'll get to give something go again. But in a deck like KO or Rhinar or these brutes that can easily discard the sea legs, it's just an extender. This card is extremely powerful in brute. If you're a brute player, pick up 3 of these soon. It will go up if brute starts winning. Pick this one up. It's very good. Midas Touch is another really good M that I think most people are going to look for if ally decks ever become too strong. This is a 1-cost generic action with 3 block at yellow that lets you destroy an ally, but you give its controller gold equal to the ally's cost. It's just free ally removal, really powerful. One of the better cards in the set to help deal with things like Chum, as it's just a 1-card get rid of the Chum or any other ally that Chum might be trying to protect, something like a Humperdinck. Any of those allies just get removed with Midas Touch. Really good card. Definitely pick this one up if you can. These 2 generic attacks are incredibly powerful, or generic cards are incredibly powerful. Midas Touch more for sideboards, sea legs for brute. These next stems are kind of not very powerful, but they might see some play inside of Gravy Bones or Kano, actually. We have a bunch of amulets. These amulets are all majestic, and they all have Legend of the Watery Grave, which is Watery Grave and Legendary. So you can only play 1, and when they're put in your graveyard, they get put face down if they were from play. These are Amethyst Amulet, with as an instant to give your next attack +2. Diamond Amulet, which gives you an action point as an instant. Onyx Amulet, which lets you tap all heroes and allies as an action. And it has go again. Opal Amulet, which is an instant to opt to. Pearl Amulet, which is a action with go again to destroy and untap a permanent. Platinum Amulet, which is an instant to give a defending card +1 block. Notably cards, so you can give it to equipment. Panamu Amulet, which gives you 2 life as an action with go again. Ruby Amulet, which gives you 2 resource at instant speed, and Sapphire Amulet, which gives your hero +1 intellect without go again. These are, of course, very similar to the potions. Ruby Amulet will probably see play in Kano because it's a 4th energy potion. Panamu Amulet might see play in Verdance as it's a 4th healing potion. Diamond Amulet might see play in Gravy Bones because it gives an extra action point at instant speed, and that seems pretty good. The rest of them, not so sure. We might see Opal also in Kano as it's an opt 2, but I don't think he plays 3 of that one anyway, if he even plays that one. And none of the other ones are inherently strong. You might see Onyx as like a tech in some decks. And of course, as this is 9 new generic items that all cost 0, you're going to have some guy playing cash out who's going to make a bunch of money and then try to combo off that way. So expect to see that guy at your locals. I know I will. Moving on to the generic attacks, we have a few cycles here. I'm going to go through the 3 cycles before I talk about or actually there's more than 3 cycles. We'll just go through it in a row then. The cycles are sort of split apart from the rest. So let's just go about these in a row. Crash Down the Gates is a cycle losing 1 power with a color differential. The red is a 3/6 that on attack of a hero lets you reveal the top card of their deck. If this card's power is greater than the revealed card, this gets +2. When this hits a hero, destroy the top card of their deck. So theoretically, this will be good, obviously good and limited, but also be powerful in someone like Victor or in someone like in KO, because you're already playing high power attacks. This would fit that bill of a high power attack if you hit it off those other effects. But it's more of a win more card. I'd rather just play something that lets me win a clash in those decks than this one. Jack Be Nimble is a 0/3 that on attack we can banish a Nimblism in our graveyard to give this +1 and go again. On hit of a hero, we can steal an item they control until the end of this action phase. Jack Be Quick is the same type of effect as 0/3 that gets go again and +1 if we banish a Nimblism from our bin. But when this hits a hero, we can untap an ally they control and steal it until the end of the action phase. So anti-item, anti-ally, only for the turn, but still decently powerful. Money or your life is a cycle that decreases in power. The red is a 3 for 6. It has the on hit of hero to deal 2 damage to them unless they give you a gold token you control, or they control. If you're a thief, you do this in extra time. So technically, if they have no gold, this is a 3 for 10 if you're a thief. But that's not ever going to happen. They're going to block it. Decently powerful. I think it'll see play in Blitz if you're playing whatever his name was, the thief guy. Not very good and constructed. Flying High is actually a really good card. That will probably see play, honestly, in Gravy Bones. I could easily see it. Flying High is a 0 cost action that gives your next attack go again, and if it's red, +1. The other colors check the other colors. So Flying High Yellow checks yellow, and Flying High Blue checks blue. I could see a world where Flying High Yellow sees play inside of Gravy Bones because it gives your allies go again. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Watery Grave Yellow, which just hurt you sometimes. But if you're scared of that, you could forgo the +1 and play Flying High Blue as another blue in your deck that can still give the allies go again, because the +1 is only if they share a color. So I really think Flying High could be a card to see play inside of that deck. Other than that, I don't think it has very much use. It only gives +1. It could be okay in some other lists, but that's about it. Clapperman Irons is a 0 cost generic item with go again. When it enters the arena, you tap a pirate hero or ally, and it can't untap while this is in the arena. But at the start of your turn, you destroy this. So it's a 1 turn tap down for an ally or hero, if they're a pirate. Regain Composure is a 0 cost 2 block generic action. At blue, it gives your next attack this turn +1, and on hit, untap your hero. Not sure what decks this will see the most play in. I guess the only one would be Puffin, but other than that, it's probably just a limited card. Tit for Tat is a 0 cost action with 2 block that lets you tap a hero and then untap another target hero. So if you really want to untap your hero, it's fine. Fiddler's Green is a 1 block at red. It gives you 3 life when it's put in your graveyard from anywhere. The color shift reduces the amount of life you gain. So yellow gives you 2, blue gives you 1. I don't think this card's going to see play, but honestly, it probably could. Just saying. Fool's Gold is a generic resource that says when it's discarded, make a gold. You might think this only is useful in decks that can discard, and you'd be right, but there are some discard synergies inside of this set, especially considering Gravy Bones also discards cards. This doesn't have Watery Grave, so you won't get any extra bonus. Same as the Sea Legs, you won't get any extra bonus from discarding it, other than making the gold from all those Necro discard cards, because they want Watery Grave cards, but Fool's Gold has some use there. Blow for Blow is a 2 for 4 that if you on play have less life than your opponent gain go again, and on hit you can do 1 to any target. Just a simple 2 for 4 go again. Not the best, not better than Scar for a Scar, but I guess has some use somewhere. Life for a Life is a reprint. Not going to be reading it. Scar for a Scar is a reprint, which is actually a good card. Ravenous Rabble is reprinted in this set. Why is it reprinted in a set all about blue cards? Well, probably because limited your deck's not going to be all blue cards. You'll swing this in for at least 4 or 3, at least 1 game. NIMBY is a 0 for 3 with 2 block. On attack, we can search your deck for a Nimblism, reveal it, and put it into our hand. So an attack that just lets us search for a Nimblism and put it into our arsenal pretty much. The other colors reduce the power, but you're probably only going to be playing the red or the yellow. Honestly, I could see both see some use in limited, I don't think, or in a blitz. I don't think it's going to see much CC play, but still a pretty powerful blitz card. Rally the Coast Guard is a 3 for 7 that once per turn instant, we can discard a card to give it +3 block only while defending. That puts it up to 5. Similar to Rally the Rear Guard, but 1 more cost, 1 more power, same as the other color shifts for all the other cards. Sirens of Safe Harbor is a 2 for 6 that color shifts to lose a power. Has 2 block, but when it's put in your grave from anywhere, gains you a life. So honestly, a really good comparison to this is a 1 less cost, 1 less power Findle's Fighting Spirit. Because that's a 3 for 7 that sometimes gains you a life. This is a 2 for 6 that always gains you a life. So honestly, I think that's a pretty good upside. Strike Gold is 0 for 4. On hit, make a gold. Same color, shift down. Trade-in is a reprint. All 3 colors of it are printed inside of this set. Walk the Plank is a 3 for 7 that on hit of a pirate hero, you tap them or an ally they control. Color shifted, minus a power, whatever. Nimblism is a reprint at all 3 colors this set. And finally, On the Horizon is a 4 block that when it defends, you get to look at the top card of your deck. Pretty good for these new pirate heroes. Overall, I think generic is pretty strong. I really like all of the Nimblism synergy cards. I think they all seem pretty good. I do really like Sirens of Safe Harbor. I think that could see play at some point in CC. I think Flying High might see some play, as well as some of the amulets, and especially these 2 other majestic attacks. Really, really good. And also a better chess piece for Acilio was not on my list. Also, this could be used in Kano. I didn't even think about that. This card could be used in Kano because he doesn't want to tap himself. And this is a Spellfire Cloak you can use on your turn if you wanted to. So honestly, good in any of those really fast wizards. Probably there's some other decks that this could see some play in too. But some actually really good generics this set. Looking to be a pretty good set for anyone who doesn't really care about any of these pirate heroes, because there are just some good generics here. Finally, to round out the video, let's talk about the expansion slot cards, as there are definitely some really interesting ones we need to talk about here. The first card we're talking about in the expansion slot is the reprint of Codex of Frailty. This is a card similar to CNC that was very, very expensive and needed a reprint. And this card, unlike CNC, which is probably only played maybe half of the decks, this card is played in every deck it's legal in at 3, because this card is just so good. It has so much utility, so much interaction. This card is probably the most expensive card in the game right now. I think it's more expensive than Shelter. Maybe not now that a reprint got announced, but it was before that the most expensive non-equipment card in the entire game. Such a dominant card if you're an Assassin or a Ranger hero. We just came off of Assassin. Now we're going into Ranger, so it's a good time to reprint it. This will be just like CNC, this set. If you pull any number of these, it is going to be amazing. It does take up a legendary slot similar to CNC, but still, very, very powerful card. Assassins are getting Undercover Acquisition. This is a 0 cost, 3 power, 3 block stealth card. Similar stealth stat lines to all the other stealth attacks at red. When it hits, you can steal an item they control. Very simple effect. Probably not going to see the most play, but a good item that definitely makes, or good card that definitely makes sense for the Assassin class. Bam Bam is a 3 for 6 yellow brute card. It has 3 block, and on hit, we can destroy an item that hero controls. On hit of hero, we destroy an item they control. But at instant speed, we can discard this card to give our club attacks this turn on hit of hero, destroy an item they control. Not going to see much use in KO, as there are no clubs that he can play, but a very, very powerful card for Reinhardt if you do opt to play the Romping Club, as that is a club. You can discard this to not only trigger Reinhardt's Intimidate, but also give the club +1 because of the club's effect. So a really nice card for Reinhardt there. Surface Shaking is a brand new Guardian card. This one is a 3 cost, 3 block blue with Go Again. It's an aura. When it enters, you make 3 Seismic Surge tokens, and at the beginning of your action phase, you have to destroy this. Then you may put up to X cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, where X is the number of surges you control, to draw cards equal to the number of cards put on the bottom this way. A way to cycle out your hand, which is very nice. It gives you 3 surges, so perfect for someone like Valda in the Mastery Pack Guardian, as she needs 3 surges to give her attack dominate. So, very good card there. Cheapens your next Guardian attack by 3. Very good. Really good with tech plating as well, as that gives you a 4th surge, lets you cycle out your whole hand if need be. Just a good card. I think Guardian players are definitely going to be happy with this one. Preach Modesty is a brand new ninja action aura. It's a 0 cost red with 2 block. It says when it enters the arena, it gets a balance counter. At the beginning of your action phase, you destroy it unless you remove a balance counter. So it's similar to Zen State. But the ability is heroes can't create tokens. Or heroes can't create cards, not tokens. They can't create cards. So Marilyn can't make harpoons. Puffin can't make cogs. Zen, if he was legal, couldn't make tigers. Who else makes tokens? Valda can't make surges. Pretty much, if your hero ability makes a card, it can't do it. So there are some matchups that this is good against. I don't think you're going to see it very often. I don't think Ninja really wants this card. Just because it's a block 2. It doesn't do anything when it's in your hand. You have to end your turn on it. You can discard it to Katsu, I guess, but then you're not really using the card. I'd rather have another 0 cost card in my deck. So it has a use, but I don't know if that use is going to see too much play. Actually, I think this also stops Dromai from making Ash, but she can just pitch in response. So I guess she can't make it while it's in play on her next turn. So that's pretty good. And like if you're playing like Blitz or something, she's legal in Blitz, right? I think she is. Escalate Bloodshed is a 0 cost warrior instant aura. It has 3 effects. When a hero draws a card during an action phase, they lose a life. At the beginning of each hero's action phase, they draw a card. And at the beginning of each hero's end phase, if they didn't attack with a weapon this turn, destroy this. There are 2 ways that this card plays out. You play it on your opponent's turn to draw a card. You don't care that you lose a life. You're playing this to cycle it out. Then you do your turn. You're a warrior, so you attack with the weapon, and it stays in play. It goes your opponent's turn. They draw a card, lose a life. They think, I don't want to give my opponent more value, so I'm not going to attack with my weapon. They're just going to play out their 6-card hand because you just gave them a free card. And then it's going to go back to you, and this isn't going to be in play. Or you play it on your opponent's turn, because you're never playing this card on your turn, I'm just going to be honest. You don't swing with your weapon because you don't want to give them a card, but you're a warrior, so you don't do anything if you didn't swing at the weapon. I think this card's just kind of bad. There are some uses for it. I could see a world where it does see play, surprisingly, but I don't think it's a very good warrior card. And to be fair, the warrior technically does get some cards this set, I will say. They can play the new Fabled if they're Kasai. They get, where is it? Flying High seems okay. It's another thing they can give Go Again. It doesn't pump the weapons, but like if you're Fang, you can play Flying High to give one of your attacks Go Again that wouldn't have Go Again yet, and then that can start your chain to go into your weapons. So I guess it's good there, right? Some people play potions in like Dory, so this can be extra potions if you need it. Midas Touch might see some use inside a warrior as well. So there are some warrior cards this set, but this is not the expansion slot card they wanted. Deny Redemption is a brand new Runeblade card. It's a 0 cost, 3 power, 3 block. It has 2 effects. When this attacks, if that hero you're attacking has more life than you, you deal 1 damage to them. and it can't be prevented. Triggers any of your on arcane stuff. Good thing, good thing Aurora isn't in the format anymore, because this is unpreventable arcane damage that could trigger your channels. But there's a second effect that lets you discard it to make heroes unable to gain life this turn. So just if you're a Runeblade, slap this at 3 in your sideboard and you play against Verdants once and they go for anything that gains them a bunch of life and you go, nope, you can't gain life anymore. So good card against Verdants. Any other life gain deck. It feels like a lot of cards they printed this set were designed to beat Count Your Blessings, and then they were just like, yeah, let's just ban Count Your Blessings because it's going to be a problem. So that's a good thing. I think more decks getting life gain hate is good. I think this is a pretty good card. The final class card, technically there's other class cards, but those are all traded, is Burn Bear. This is the brand new wizard card. It's a 3-cost no pitch card. You cannot pitch this card. It is a blank. It is 3 block, and it comes in for 6 arcane to any target. So actually a good number against Chum. It immediately kills the Chum. But it has another effect. You can discard this at instant speed to destroy target card with Phantasm attacking you. Pretty powerful card for any of the wizards that need poppers. Acilio and Kano mainly. They don't need to play poppers in their deck anymore. They can play Burn Bear and have what they want, which is a burn spell on turns they need the burn spell. Or have an anti-popper card. Pretty good. I'm going to definitely be playing this in my Acilio sideboards for the Prism matchup. I think Kano players are going to be doing the same thing. I really like this card. Riddle with Regret is a 0-cost Chaos Action Aura at red. It is 2 block and go again. At the beginning of each hero's end phase, they lose X life, where X is the number of auras they control when this triggered. If X is 3 or more, destroy this card. So you have to think about something though. If you're playing this in Assassin, you're a deck that gives your opponent a lot of auras because of the plagues. But also this is an aura, and you can give yourself ponders. So there are times where this will hurt you, and this will always hurt you by at least 1 the turn you play it, because it is itself an aura. So it's a bit of a risk reward for any of the Chaos heroes, so the Arachnes. But I think if you're playing against a deck that you immediately blow it up on your opponent's turn, if they're playing a lot of auras, this would be like if Enigma was still in the format, where you'd play this card and then they have like 6 auras in play, so they take 6 and it's loss of life, so it doesn't blow any of the auras up, but they still take 6. You could just like play this, take 1 yourself, and then dome them for 6 for free, which is really good late game as their life's going to be pretty low. Same as like Prism and LL, like OG Prism. She has a lot of auras in play a lot of the time. This can just dome her for a game if you're a Chaos hero, which I don't know if the other Chaos heroes are going to be playing this one, but pretty good there. Also could be good against like Fang or Syndra as they make fealties, which are auras, or any of those other decks that just make them randomly. I think this card is pretty good. Claw of Enserakai is a brand new draconic weapon. It's a 1-handed dagger. It attacks for 1, and it has Spell Void 1. Pretty good in Syndra, since she can bring it back. You can prevent 1 over and over. In Fang, it's probably not going to see any play, but I could see a world where you include it if you really think you need the 1 prevention. Although you are losing +1 go again on a dagger if you are doing that. Everbloom in Life is a brand new Earth action, Earth instant, so any Earth hero can play this card. It is a blue 3 block, which is incredibly good. I believe this is the second Earth blue 3 block, just generic Earth card ever printed. The only other one being Earth Lore Surge, I believe. Or is it Autumn's Touch? Might be Autumn's Touch. The generic attack with no text has 3 block. This is the second generic Earth card to do that. This card, mono Earth card, I believe the Lightning Earth card that was for Briar also has 3 block, but Everbloom says you choose an action in your graveyard with cost less than the amount of life you've gained this turn, so at least 1, because you're probably always playing life, to put a card on the bottom of its owner's deck. From that card you targeted, on the bottom of its owner's deck. So it lets you recycle your really good cards. Obviously, they ban Germinate. This is the reason why they ban Germinate, but you can also replace Germinate with this card. So it's perfectly fine in Florian there. Just an easy way to recycle a lot of things. It doesn't matter the specific card you target. You could target, your ice cards in Jarl, or you could target, some combo pieces in Verdance. It just has to be an action, so you can't target the instance, but still a very good card. Gonna see play in all of the Earth Heroes. Consign to Cosmos Shock, or Shock, because no one's playing Consign to Cosmos, is the brand new Acilio card. This is a Lightning Wizard action or Cosmos, Consign to Cosmos, is a Lightning Wizard action that lets you banish X instants and or aura cards from any graveyard, where X is the number of arcane damage you've dealt this turn. Which doesn't matter because Counter Your Blessings is banned. Okay, well what else does the card do? Well, it's a yellow, block 3, that says 0 cost lightning instant, do 1 arcane damage to any target. Which is the exact card that Acilio needed. Acilio's one problem is he needs to play like 4 different types of cards, and it's hard to juggle. Shock is all of them but an attack. It's a lightning card, it's a free instant, it's a blocking card, it's a burn spell. It does literally everything you want. Honestly, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This card could have been a shock by itself at red with no block. If it's a 0 cost shock, it's good. And this is a better color in yellow, and it blocks 3, which is like insane. This card will make Acilio bonkers. Honestly, one of the best cards in the entire set, just because it's a 0 cost shock. Absolutely insane. Definitely, Acilio is going to be something you should be teching for, because he is going to be back and in full force. Herald of Sekhem is the last traded card in the expansion slot. It is a 2 for 7 at red in the Light Illusionist, so only Prism can play this one. It is Phantasm, and on attack, you can put a yellow card from your hand into your soul. If you do, to 2 arcane damage to any target. Some pretty decent effect that can be good in a lot of matchups. It can help you deal with some small allies in Gravy. It can help you kill the bird in Puffin. Or it can just poke your opponent down versus some slower matchups. Not going to be a main board card probably, as it's a red and not a yellow, but if you can fit it into your main board, it is a way to put Heralds into your soul without needing to connect, since it's an on-attack trigger. And you do get 2 free damage that way. So, pretty powerful card if you're playing against a deck with a lot of poppers, as it just lets you start the chain going. Not the best versus some aggro decks, as it doesn't have any on-hits. They'll just take the damage because who cares? They don't lose anything for it hitting them other than life. But I think this is a very powerful card. You're definitely going to see this one in Prism decks in some force. The last expansion slot card is Arcane Compliance. This is a 0 cost generic instant. It's a generic in the expansion slot because there is no arcane damage in the main set, and this card interacts with arcane damage. Until the end of turn, effects can't increase arcane damage that target action card on the stack would deal. So if you point this at your opponent's, I don't know, open the gate, open the surge draw 2 for 12, you set it right back down to 3, and it can never get stronger. Really, really powerful. It only targets action cards. So if you're scared of this card and you're playing a Cilio, just pump the shock part of Comet Storm, or just play a shock for your burn spell, because they can't target that one. But against Kano, you can also target like an Aether Wildfire to make it do only 4. You can target against Cilio, Comet Storm and Shock. Against Verdants, if they go a big stack on their weapon and then have to play another burn spell at you, you can target that burn spell to drop it all the way back down. Really good card against Wizard. Only going to see play against Wizard, honestly. I don't think you're going to play this card against Florian. But, really good card. This one will see some play in sideboards. I don't know how much play. It depends on how good Wizard is. But it's still a very good card. Anyway, that is all of the generics. I'm not going to go over these Marvels here because they are from the Armory deck for Gravy Bones and not in the main set, as cards you can actually get in the main set. So, that is going to be it. Overall, I think the expansion slot, the set is pretty good. One of the better ones. There are some weaker cards here, but you do have a Codex reprint. You do have, like, 4 insane traded cards. Like, I think these are the best traded cards we've received in an expansion slot. The class cards leave a little more to be desired, but some of them are really good. Actually, I guess 5 traded cards. Riddle is traded, but I think Riddle's pretty good. Like, some of the better class cards, Burn Bear, Deny, Redemption, Surface Shaking, really good. Bam Bam, pretty good too. Codex reprint's nice. Acquisitions, I think is going to be pretty good. The only 2 that are, like, aren't good are the Ninja and the Warrior card, but honestly, we just had a set with Ninja and Warrior, and they're both, like, still pretty decent, so I think that's fine. Overall, I think it's a very good expansion slot. Overall, I think the set is extremely good, but you might be able to tell, like at the end of the last video, my voice is starting to get a little messed up, so I'm going to end it off here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have a good opening for high seas. I hope your pre-releases were good. I hope your boxes are going to be good. Wish you good luck in all of your events, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.